Hello, CraftingMantis here, and welcome back to another episode of Life in the Village 2. So it has definitely been a while. A lot of things have been going on in real life, and so I kind of ended up having to take a slight break. And because of that, yeah, I'm a little bit behind on the updates for this mod pack. And so I made the decision that, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap up this village. And I'm going to end up turning the world into a creative world so that I can end up completely finishing it. So I can show you guys the vision that I had for this particular one. However, today we are going to be going over how I ended up planning the layout for this village. So that way you guys can kind of use that information to plan out your villages as well. Now, with the fact that we are wrapping this one up, that means that we have the opportunity to move forward in a different one. So for those of you who would be interested in a particular type of village, there's a whole bunch of them. Two of the ones that were kind of things that have been expressed interest in are the desert or the sandstone village, as well as the Space Wars. Though I don't know if I want to do the Space Wars one because I will most likely get in trouble for copyright and all of that, because it's actually, it's inspired by Star Wars. And so I might get myself in trouble because of, referring to things as they should be instead of what they are in the mod pack. So yeah, so today, like I said, we are going to be going over how I kind of planned out this particular village. So let's go ahead and head over to the town hall. Now, when you come into the town hall, you're going to want to come over here to the actual building block here and come all the way down here to happiness. Now, for happiness, the things that are most affected by the building, you end up having the hunger, which requires, some place for them to actually be fed. You have guards in the colony. Then you have getting sleep and housing. These ones are kind of like the really important ones because depending on how you have the actual village, colony, whatever you want to call it, set up, these are going to be massively affected, as well as health here because you have to have the hospital as well. Now, let's go ahead and head over into the copy that I have of, of this world that because I actually have two copies of this world. One that I've been playing in survival, and the one where I've actually been doing most of my planning in creative. So as you can see, this is a little bit different than the other one, as this is the creative world that I had made, which is basically a copy of the other one that as I progress, I would make a copy of it, switch everything over so that I could go into creative and then start planning out. Now, I have done a lot of planning. As you can see, we've got construction sites that are kind of all over the place, and those just basically mark where I'm planning on putting different builds. Now, when you are planning your colony, you're going to want to have a central area. Now, I created this little town center here. Haven't actually built everything on it as of yet, but this, is the area I said, okay, this block right here is where I'm going to call center of the actual colony. Now, around here, you're going to want a few things. First and foremost, you're going to want your town hall, because that is the central part of your colony. In addition to that, you're going to want the tavern, because the tavern allows the new colonists to basically be able to spawn, and you'll be able to hire them so that then, they can actually become part of the colony. And you can also use this as temporary housing. So depending on the size of the tavern will determine how many beds you actually have available within it. But that'll allow them to actually have a place to sleep, because if your colonists are tired, they're not going to want to work and they're going to complain and things aren't going to run as smoothly. So you want to make sure that you have your tavern in the central area as well. Now, the next building that you're going to want to have central is your builder's hut. Because if you have the builder's hut off in one direction on your colony, then they're going to have to travel all the way across colony in order to get to their work site. Because that's another big thing in terms of, the actual colonist's happiness, is how long it takes them to actually get to work, get their job done, be able to get back to sleep, and then get from sleep to, wherever they need to go. And so that's a big consideration when you are talking about planning out your colony. So we've got the builder's hut, we've got the city hall, and the tavern. Now, you also want your warehouse centralized as well. Mine is over in this direction right here. So this is the warehouse, and you want this central because of the fact that your colonists are going to make requests. And if the couriers have to travel all the way across the colony in order to pick up the stuff and then all the way back across, then it's going to slow everything down and it's going to make more idle time for the workers, which then leads to lower happiness. In addition to those ones, you're going to want your restaurant. Now, again, it's a little bit back, but you have the restaurant here because this is where the colonists are going to end up going in order to actually pick up food. And so by having this centralized, again, it reduces the amount of time that they have to travel. And I also have the hospital. This is the other one that you're going to want centralized as well. Those 6 buildings are the ones that you kind of want in the center of your colony. That way it reduces the amount of time that the colonists have to travel from wherever they are, whether it's their workplace or their home, to, get to these areas, and then from there to wherever they work or to sleep, depending on the time of day. So those are kind of the central ideas as to what you want in the center of your colony. Now, when you're planning out the other parts of the colony, one of the things that you're going to need to keep into consideration is the guard tower. So you have the guard tower as well as the academy, which is this building over here for the Nordic. These ones house your guards. Now, in order to be fully happy, colonists require 2 guards for every 3 citizens. So you're going to want to take that in consideration as you're expanding your colony, because like right now, these colonists are not happy with me because of the amount of guards that are within the colony, because I have very minimal guards, especially when you compare the whole 2 to 3 ratio that they are wanting in order to be fully happy. So you're going to want to take that in consideration, because you're going to want to put these guard towers throughout the colony, because these will create happiness if they are close to housing as well as workplaces, as well as, increasing the number of guards that you have in the colony. So that will help a lot as well. And so I just started placing these, throughout the colony as best I could. Like I've got one over there, and then there's one back there, to try to put as many guard towers around as possible. I didn't realize just how integral they needed to be within the colony, and so I did not plan for them quite as well as I could have for this particular colony. Now, that takes care of the guards and the food, as well as the workplaces, because workplaces, as you kind of expand stuff out, you'll end up having, just basically make sure that the homes are near their workplaces. So as you can see, I've got these, these homes like this right here. This is a home for Case, and this is his workplace right here. Over here, we have the hospital, and the doctor actually lives in this house right here. Now, that's not always possible to actually have them right up against each other like this, because, you're going to end up having, more workplaces and other things around. And so as you are planning out your colony, be like, okay, this is where this person works, and so they need to be within, so many blocks in order to actually have their home as well. And so by having that short distance in between them, then they're happy because they can get quickly to work and quickly back home to sleep. And so they'll end up having, less travel time, less idle time, and they're able to have a higher probability of actually being able to sleep at night, which is a good thing as well. So that is kind of, the basics for planning out the colony. Now, one of the things that I also did as I was planning out the additional areas is kind of group things by their type. Now, like right here, because this right here, this is a guard tower. So we have another guard tower for this batch of workplaces. This is a stonemason. And then we have, this is, I don't remember, Janet. Oh, okay. I will work on it. Thank you. I forgot what Janet was. Oh, smelter. Okay, she's the smelter, and then this is the blacksmith over here. And then we also have over here the stone smeltery. So all of these are kind of similar in nature as to, what the types of things are that they can do. Because, like, the smelter is going to, if the items aren't picked up by the couriers, then they can end up coming over here to the blacksmith if there's requests and stuff for, for armor and all of that. And then this right here, this is the bakery. I ended up having to put this back here because this was kind of an interesting build because it has the water and stuff that you end up having to have. And so it had to kind of be butted up against, like, a hill in order to kind of make it work a little bit better. So that was something that was a little bit, out of place. And, just trying to group things together to kind of create cohesion within the colony. Like, try to add, multiple houses together rather than just having them, off one, here and one there. Kind of create little, groups of them. Because that's what you're going to end up seeing within actual, like, cities and towns and stuff. You'll end up having a residential district and you'll have, like a warehouse district. And then you'll have an area where, it's the different business offices and stuff like that. And then you'll have, your agricultural area and all of that. So that's kind of what my, how I was trying to plan all of this, try to create little areas of like, okay, this is going to be, these kind of buildings, and this is going to be other kinds of buildings. And so that's kind of, a look into, how I end up planning my, my colonies. I'll be using the same principles in the new colony as well. And so you guys can kind of see that from, from the beginning, and, so you can take the information that I gave in this video and kind of go along with me as I plan out the next series. So definitely let me know if there, a little bit of lag. Definitely let me know if there is a particular colony that you would like to see in terms of, these colonies. So Space Wars, we got Sandstone, there's Medieval, there's Fortress, there's True Dwarven, there's all different kinds of things that we can end up building for this. But that'll give me an idea of what you guys want to see. Now, in terms of the next step for this particular season, I will, over the next couple of weeks, I will work on getting the other file kind of updated, and I'll basically get another builder and start kind of updating the buildings and stuff in it, and then get the new buildings built in creative. That way we can, get everything done, and then I can kind of show you guys the final product as to, how I was kind of envisioning all of this being put together. So I definitely hope that you have learned something from this video and that you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, definitely hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, click the Mantis icon to subscribe, then hit the bell button to get notified when I put out additional content. Want to check out more of my videos? Try the one on the left, or you could check out the playlist on the right. That's it for now, but I'll see you guys in the next episode.